So I had a 1.5-year-old, and it was winter in New York, and I was very, very pregnant with my second, and I didn't have any family in town. And so my mom was busy doing something else. And so my dad, God bless him, was like, I can come, I'll come. So my dad comes. He's there staying in our apartment for like 10 days. And God bless him, he would try and like help with the dishes every night. But, I was very pregnant, waiting to like, and the baby wasn't coming out. The baby was not coming out. So then my doctor was like, okay, we're going to have you induced on Thursday. So we had a whole plan. Like Jeremy's mom was coming into town to make sure that she could take care of my 1.5-year-old. Everything was all in plan. My dad was still there, just kind of in support. And so sure enough, Willow decided to come early, and it was a Monday night, I think, or a Tuesday night. And it was midnight, and my dad had probably had an entire bottle of wine. And he was just celebrating, having fun in New York. And I go to bed, I lie in bed, all of a sudden, midnight contractions. And they were hard, and they were coming fast.
Wow.
And so my 1.5-year-old was in the bedroom. My dad was sleeping in the room with her. He was passed out because he had had too much wine. And I get up and I'm like, oh my God. And I was like, I said to my then husband, I was like, we have to go to the hospital now. And he was like, oh my God, okay. Because he had just fallen asleep. So then we run into the bedroom and we wake up my dad, try and shake him. He gets up in his underwear and he's like, okay, what do I do? What do I do? I was like, Dad, just keep my baby alive. Just keep her alive. And he's like, but what do I do? And I was like, just keep her alive. Like, I don't know what to say. And then he was like, are you okay?
Yeah.
He like runs and gets the wine bottle and he gives it to me. He's like, here, this will help in pain. And I'm like, and actually, I think I took a swig of it. I was like, okay, thank you. Well, we got to go to the hospital. So we had to go under the tunnel and everything. So anyway, we get in the tunnel, we get to the hospital, and I'm in triage. And then like they rushed me in because she was coming out fast. She wanted to come out. And a couple of hours into my like severe labor, the phone rings and Jeremy answers, and it's my dad. And he's like, hey, Jeremy. He's like, so how do I make coffee? And Jeremy was like, I can't talk to you right now, Dad. And he's like, how's our daughter? And he's like, well, she was crying for like many hours, but then I put some pillows on the floor and then we both fell asleep. So like he like kept her alive, but like literally like she crawled out of her crib, apparently was screaming for hours,
God.
threw pillows on the floor. But you know what? He kept her alive. And then at about like 7 a.m, one of my ex's friends came over and to change her diaper because he was like, I don't know what to do. How do I? It smells really bad. Like it was such a shit show. But he was there and he kept my child alive. So
sometimes that's the assignment.
It wasn't the same as having a mom there. Let's just say that.
Yeah. Men can do it too. They just do it unconventionally.
I loved this conversation today with Lauren. Thank you so much for bringing her on, Shelly.
Oh, she's amazing and how grounded, just in her early stages of motherhood, immediately is so grounded in so many areas where you and I both agreed we wished that we would have been that grounded early on too. It took so long to get there, and she is just what an amazing light and an amazing human. And
she's so wise and so spiritual and yet so grounded and so honest, so like incredibly honest and like really inspiring. And really, really, I think that this is a good episode for young moms out there and all moms in general. She's just a bright light, but really for young moms to really, really not feel alone and to like grasp the tools that sometimes we don't learn until much later on in motherhood. I think that she has a good handle on self-care as a young mom. And yet at the same time, she's not going to pretend that it's not hard.
Right. The radical honesty is what is just so important to highlight because it is really hard. But there's so much beauty that is there right beside it. So it's this perfect example of two things happening at the same time.
Yeah, and she's a beautiful educator, choreographer, an incredible artist, and a wonderful human. And she cultivates beauty around her and community. And I think that she really represents what this podcast is about. And I think we're so grateful to have her. No, we are so grateful to have her. So let's dive in.
Do you feel that you've always been that way in thinking of everyone else first, or do you feel like this is specific to, yeah, okay, right.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. People
I
pleasing the
could
whole
go into
thing.
family history.
Go into that,
Yeah.
right. Dig deep. Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
And just being, I was a rhythmic gymnast growing
Oh,
up.
look at that.
Yeah, I started out as a rhythmic gymnast from age 6 to 17. I competed.
Wow.
Yeah, once I made it to level 10, I was like, okay, I'm done.
Level 10, like the highest that you can.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I could have made it maybe to the national team if I'd worked harder a little bit, or something like that, but I just wanted to make it to level 10. That's it. Um, but I did that at a really high level, and yeah, that training is so intense. I did a yoga training before I got pregnant, or no, I got pregnant while I was in the yoga training with the second one.
Oh, okay.
And I started doing back bends, and I was having these crazy reactions of just crying uncontrollably in a back bend, realizing that my training was extremely traumatic because it's essentially contortion, and you're getting sat on, you're getting twisted, and your feelings are not allowed. You're not allowed to cry. You're not allowed to say stop. You're not allowed to cry out, and say, this hurts. I had so many friends that broke their backs literally as teenagers from this training. And thank God I was naturally flexible. So
Yeah.
I didn't, but I came away with a lot other injuries. But it's just this thing where you just sit and take it. And I think
Yeah.
that's like, what we're taught to do as women a lot of times is just like sit and take it and like, make our magic and then like come out the other side still an amazing, perfect being. And it's just like kind of bullshit.
No, you're right. Sit and take it, dude.
I don't know.
Sit and take it. Right. I mean, we're still sitting and taking it right now.
Yeah, we are.
That's an incredible analogy and metaphor for like everything. I mean, this everything you just said is so beautiful in the way of like seeing it for what it is, and the parallels of, what you were doing as basically your whole adolescence to,
Yeah.
as an adult female identifying. What are we still doing, and what are we experiencing that is really similar to that? And that is fascinating. Do you feel that your body now as a mom, because we're always carrying this weight. I remember feeling when my oldest was a year and a half, I remember I created this whole piece about carrying weight, and I felt so
Mm,
weighted. And I
mm,
think a lot of that was due to the ergo and the baby on the front, the diaper bag. And I was always, I mean, it was a schlep.
Mm,
It's still a
mm,
schlep, but in a different way. And my body always felt so heavy.
mm.
And I just felt like there was always this carrying of the load physically. Do you feel that, how is your body responding to your history with now, carrying
Yeah.
two babies?
Yeah, like I said, I have scars, right? And
Mm,
then those scars are very palpable. I think they're raised and I can feel them and they're numb around it, In terms of weight, I think if I was in New York, I would feel weighted
yeah, yeah.
and schlepping around in that way. I'm schlepping, but I have a car
Uh,
and
uh-huh.
I'm not out in it like I would be in New York. And kudos to all the moms in New York because what? And then going, this lack of space, you
Hmm.
know, um, it's incredible. And then also you have an amazing community in New York, and people to help
Yeah,
you and things like that. It's wonderful. But I think uh yeah, I feel heavy and then I feel I have space to release it. And then I feel heavy and I'm like, what needs to change? I need to do this and this and this and this and this and this and this. We're very spiritual in this household. So we have a ancestor room and an altar room where my partner and I can retire to. We have a master suite where we can retire to. And then the other kids have their rooms, and anywhere else, this house would have been $1 million.
Yeah.
But in Western Massachusetts, it's not at
Yeah.
all. And it's a blessing to have space to just sit in front of my ancestors, or when it's really getting hard to just be like, ancestors, help me out here. What do I need to do?
Yeah. Yeah.
And they're present here. And so yeah, I do feel the weight. And then I also have a women's circle that I have two friends named Lauren who also have kids the same ages. And so we have this Lauren's women's circle that we have created. And we all go there and just you know,
Yeah.
pour. And we actually make the men watch the toddlers. And then we get this women's circle. So that's the deal of all of the families that participate. And then I don't know, it's just so rich up here. It's really rich land, and mountains and things to give things to. And so I just try not to stay too weighted and try not to let it accumulate, because I'm no good.
Yeah.
I'm no good when that
Yeah.
happens. And I'm really no good when I don't get sleep. I'm a
Yeah.
bitch. I'm a bitch when I don't get sleep. That's one thing that I've discovered. But in terms of my body, and especially with this second one, I'm feeling actually better than the first one. The first one was a blowout, it was a vaginal birth. It took like 5 suction cups to get him out. And this one was a C-section because he was like, and it was a C-section, and which is a whole nother set of trauma. We lean on C-section way too much. I had no idea that they put your intestines on a table next to you
Gosh.
and then take out the baby and
Right.
then put everything back and then sew you up.
Just hold on real quick. Put this back. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
You
So,
use this word retire that I love so much in this current life. Retire. So we always hear that about end of working life, but
mm,
this retire and how this is framed in as it applies to motherhood is
mm,
incredible to me. I love this idea of how it's such a strong word. And
mm,
I can tell you right now, I'm not retiring nearly enough,
mm,
and I think that hearing you talk about these moments of retiring with your two little ones is really just strong. It just seems like it's such a conscious choice to really let go and refuel and with a sense of quiet, what retiring is supposed to be is
mm,
relax, and you're giving yourself space to do that. Thank you for sharing that, because that I think is really profound word in application to
mm,
early motherhood. Wow.
mm,
Or motherhood in general. I
Jeez.
mean, just it's nonstop, you know? Shelly, you know that it's only been recently that this past year where I've been like, oh, I need time for me.
mm.
Um, like, and I will, even if I'm uh, a single mom. Um, just
Wow. How did you do
recently.
that? I
Well,
mean,
that's pretty recent. It's only
wow.
been, 2 years. For the first
Mm,
year and a half, we stayed under the same roof just for the kids to get them adjusted to the fact that mommy and daddy are, we're still friends, we're still a family, but we're sleeping in separate bedrooms.
mm,
And then he moved out exactly a year ago. So
mm,
I am now gifted in a way when they're with their dad, time for myself. And I still am. Like the night that I drop them off at dad's and I come home and I'm like, oh my God, wait, what? Like time for me? And of course, I need to work, work, work now because, I have to financially support myself and my children. So a lot of that time goes to my work, but just the kind of like feeling of, oh, and I carry that even when they're with me, they know that I can say to them, mommy needs to take a walk or mommy needs to take an hour. I'm going to go in my bedroom. and they always need us. Even when they're 11 and 13, they're always going to need mom all the time. But I have to carve that out for myself and not feel guilty about it, because I know that I will then be a better mom. And I hear you with the sleeping, because, my second baby came along, I got pregnant 9 months after the first one. Second one came along, first one, I sleep trained. I did all of the things by the book. Second one, I was like, she's just going to sleep in the bed with me. And I'm just going to because I need my sleep.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'm not going to function. So I learned that, but then she still wants to sleep with me today. Like, she's 11 years old. She still wants to, we slept together last night. Like, she's like, Mommy, I want to. I'm like, well, maybe that's because she wasn't sleep trained. But yeah, I mean, it's like, why? I just don't know. It's so hard for mothers to really carve out that time for themselves without guilt. So I love it that you have your women's circle. I love it that you are able to go um, enjoy the nature, and that you found a safe space where you and your family can, not be cramped like we are in New York and LA. We are. I mean, we're cramped and it's hard to find space.
Yeah.
So yeah, I admire that.
I mean, it was not by design. I just fell here and was like, where am I? It was really hard at first. And then I've realized why I've landed here and why,
Yeah.
I was put here. But yeah, I thought I would end up in a city or in South America or some grand place, and I ended up in Massachusetts.
Yeah, right. How's your wintering going up there?
Oh, it is an excuse to hibernate.
Yeah.
It is a lot of snow. That last snowstorm was a lot of snow.
Not going anywhere.
And our heat went out. So it was
No.
30 degrees in our house and in like -5 outside at night. And we all came up in the attic because it's the only place we have electric heat. And we're up there for 2 days, just put my 3-year-old in front of the computer and was like, watch any movie you want.
Yeah.
And with my mom, my husband,
gosh.
and 2 kids. So that was like the peak. That was peak wintering. You're just like, all right, can't get worse from here, please God. And it was right before the snowstorm happened. So literally we got that fixed as the first snowstorm fell, the snow fell. Yeah, it's otherwise I love the snow. I'm really used to this weather now on the East Coast after 15 years here. And really leaning into the sledding around the neighborhood. I turned our front porch into a little sled for my 3.5-year-old. That was fun. And
There you go.
yeah, you just kind of got to coach yourself and bundle up in some good fabrics and get out there, I guess. But definitely looking forward to the warmth. Definitely.
Yeah, and it's beautiful up there where you are in
Yeah,
the spring and summer. It's gorgeous. But here you are being a creative mom, just getting that sledding going, figuring it out. I mean, it's just that creativity and quick pivot and choices and you're always doing that. You're just always doing that. It's a different sense of creativity that I feel like that problem solving, that you just put moms in charge already. Can we just do that already? Put all the moms in charge, because we can problem solve anything.
Anything. And
Anything.
I wanted to talk about the guilt because that keeps coming up, and it comes up all the time. It's like, it's not that I don't feel guilt when I'm out there in yoga, or that I'm like on this phone call feeling the guilt that my newborn is downstairs and not with me. It's still there. It's just like that thing, that quote about fear. It's like, you just might have to do it afraid. It's just like, you got to do it. You got to do it with the guilt.
Do it with the guilt. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just like, it comes and I try to coach myself through it, but it definitely is still there. It's, and it still stops me from doing a lot of things as well. But
still, I
I
think
think noticing it when it's coming.
Yeah, I think the fact that you're so aware of it while your babies are so young is what really impresses me, and I think that it's something that a lot of young moms should really pay attention to because it took me a long time, and I agree, there's still guilt. Of course, there's always gonna be that feeling of guilt, but you can convince yourself. You can just tell yourself, "They're gonna be fine. They're gonna be
Yeah.
okay," like, and then mommy's gonna be better afterwards, and which makes everything better. Um, but yeah, 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 sorry. I'm just
No, I love
feels
that.
different.
Nobody in the household is gonna be okay if the mom's not okay, you
Yeah,
know?
That's the truth.
yeah,
Yeah. Somebody told me that and I was like, "Right, okay,
Yeah.
reclamation." Yeah.
and it will get easier and harder in other ways, but that part
Guys,
will get easier.
share.
Will the sleep get easier?
Well, no, because Cher and I
So
both have kids who like to sleep in the same bed with us. No, I
we'll
don't know.
sleep with our kids.
It's what Cher said, though. I feel it is different challenges, right? It's like that. I had so many people say that to me, like it's going to get easier, and I'm like, well, tick tock o'clock, 'cause comes back, But it's like different challenges, and but again, I do think there's something to that presence where it's like maybe it doesn't get easier because you're still just like really present with your kids. Like you're not being like, fuck off, here's a TV for 8 hours every day. You're trying to like be really present with your kids. I think that is going to come with like constant challenges but I don't know. It's all just a ride. You're taking on a ride all the time. And
I mean, yeah, look at my mom. She's my live-in nanny.
wait, where's mom? Where's your mom? Is she accessible? We have
She
questions.
is not. She's down. Mom? She's down there. She's not really my live-in nanny, but she's
Yeah,
another parent in the home for 3 months, and then she'll go back.
yeah.
Come back for
Amazing.
another little,
Amazing to
but
have your
still,
mom.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And just for you though, not just for the babies,
yeah,
also for you to
yeah,
be of support.
yeah, yeah. Really grateful for that.
That's
Really
beautiful.
grateful.
That's just
Yeah.
beautiful. Um, is there anything that surprised you about motherhood that you didn't see coming, aside from everything? Is there anything profound that you feel like, this one thing wasn't really talked about, and um, I didn't hear enough about it, but yet here we are, and I'm having to navigate this, and that just really surprised me. Um,
Hmm.
for me, it was childcare. No one
Mm.
really talked about how hard it is to find childcare, and it is still, I think, for me, the hardest part of parenting.
Yeah.
Anything that you can think of.
Yeah. Childcare is definitely one of them. We got really lucky though. And uh I don't know if anything after this, but the first thing that came to my mind were contractions.
Oh,
Contractions. I was like, I did this yoga, prenatal yoga course while I was pregnant with the first one. And she was just like, okay, we're going to simulate like contractions. Again, this is not the intensity, but it's the longevity of how long the contractions are. So she had us hold ice
Oh, yeah, I remember doing that.
I've never heard of that.
Yeah,
for
I
a
did that
minute.
too
You have
for
to
a
squeeze
minute.
it as hard as possible and then release it. And like once I got to the room, I was like, bitch, ice? This is nothing like holding ice. This is nothing like holding ice for a minute. The contractions, because if I would have had known that, then I have been blessed to not have horrible, horrible periods. I don't have endometriosis. I don't have
uh,
cysts, things like that. If I would have known that, I would have been preparing and not numbing my what do you call them? Not contractions, uh, my periods, I would have,
oh, yes, yes, yes.
yeah, I would have let them
Felt them.
happen. Yeah, yeah, I would have felt them and been like, okay, like how do I breathe through this?
Well, that's
And
amazing.
you know what I mean? And practice
Absolutely.
for contractions because that's literally what it's preparing you for.
Wow.
And
Stop taking the
so
Advil and feel the cramps.
cramps. Yes. Feel the cramps. Feel them and figure out how to not numb them and go, because the contractions were shocking the first time. I was like, whoa. It was shocking. That was really a surprise for me, I think. And I think since then, motherhood, yeah, childcare is another mortgage payment. It's really horrible, especially with two. And we put them both. We already got him into a daycare for the fall, thank God. And it's Reggio Emilia approach, which is an incredible one, which is the one now is in a Reggio Emilia approach school, which we are loving. And uh, that's been really lovely. I think, yeah, the contractions, it just all comes back to that. I don't know about the motherhood, what was shocking, probably the lack of sleep. Again, the lack of sleep the first time was really, really shocking as well. And just how you can keep going. It's shocking that I can get ready in 10 minutes when I could have gotten, when like before I was getting ready in an hour. Like, what the hell was I doing for an hour? And like I was still late.
Yeah, late with it too.
Right.
What were you doing? Yeah.
No idea. I was taking my damn time and
Wow.
trying to select and try to craft and, like
Yeah.
craft the image. And now it's like, I was wearing a completely different shirt, and then I was like, you didn't sign on as quick. I was like, maybe I can actually change my shirt. And so I like, changed my
Yeah.
shirt last minute. We get ready in pieces, I think, and like, or like I can get ready in 10 minutes and like,
Oh
you know,
yeah, the time management when you become a
yeah.
mom,
Oh my
crazy.
God.
I feel you. There's a beauty in that forced time management. There is, as hard as it is.
Yeah, truly. Because when you have an hour, you're like, wow, things I can do with an hour, you know? And then
Yeah.
perhaps, I don't know, I get that hour and I'm like, I don't know what to do. Where do I start?
I just
So
want to lie in my bed. Sometimes that's all I do. I just lie in bed for an hour, and I'm like, you just wasted an hour. And I'm like, well,
right,
I
the
didn't do
guilt
it, and I feel
Guilt.
guilty.
Yeah.
and the guilt comes in. Yeah.
There's that guilt. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. We're not alone. The more honest and raw we are, like you have been today, the more
Mm.
grateful we are. And I think the more our listeners are really going to appreciate it, because we don't want to hear how perfect everything is. And we don't want to see all the perfect moms on Instagram. We want to hear the real stories and the struggles and and the beauty of it all. But it's all one and the same, it's a whole package.
You have this amazing way of circling these lessons and these experiences that you've had back to motherhood, and like, even just this like idea of cramps and contractions and what that's like to prepare yourself for that by way of menstruation and experiencing that and feeling that. And just, you have this beautiful way. I love the way your radical honesty and the way you refer to New York as like this current that followed you. I mean, you just have this beautiful way of circling everything back to a point and what you're experiencing in real time. And I hate to use this word because it's so like, bleh, but inspired by your stories and the way that your outlook on everything and where you are currently. It's really helpful, and just grateful for what you shared with us, Lauren.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate the platform. I feel like it's like a purge.
Mm.
It's like I don't know, I go about my day and, the only conversation you have is with 3.5-year-olds sometimes, and so to have adult conversation about what we're experiencing and what I'm experiencing is really cathartic. And I think that's just what the mom tribe does, it's just like, so thank you for being a mom tribe here on this podcast. And thank you for inviting me to be a part of it. And, it feels good to like be a part of a tribe. I think I tried to find my tribe for a long time, and I found that in dance. But even then within dance, you have to try and find your tribe. But the mom tribe is so undeniable and so real and raw, like what you're talking about, that it just feels, yeah, I'm grateful to be a part of it.
Thank you. We're so happy. And, please reach out to us. We'll make sure that we've got each other's contact numbers. And, sometimes Jessica, our amazing producer, who's also a mom of two, and Shelly and I leave each other messages all the time. Sometimes our guests that have been on the podcast will leave me messages. I'll leave them back messages. And it's like, I don't think I could have survived, this divorce and everything that I've been going through had it not been for my mama tribe. I have so many mamas out there that I can leave messages and they leave me messages and just to feel that community and that support is undeniably uh well, it's a gift from God, really. It is. It's I'm just so grateful. I'm so grateful for you, Shelly.
Yes, and you.
Yeah.
Lauren, is there anything you want to share aside from everything you've talked about today? Is there anything you want to share about anything else that you want to just speak out about or?
Man, I don't know. We're going through a hard time here, just collectively.
Yeah.
And I think that if anyone out there is doesn't have a mom tribe, and is a mom, go to your local women's circle or your postpartum circle. And there is so much out there to reach for, and there's such good people out there, and there's good experiences. And, despite what, is happening in this world and in this country, there is good. So I think we can just continue to reach out to that. And yeah, watch that film Mama Dancers if you can on Amazon Prime.
And it's on Amazon. That's amazing, right? This was released on Amazon. Incredible.
Crazy. We just get an email every once in a while hey, going to this film festival. Hey, it's on Amazon. We're okay. So I think it has a really great message in terms of just paving the way for other moms in professional spaces. And the more that we show up as Mama Tribe to professional spaces and set, the narrative and set the standard for what it needs to be, the more that they will have to listen, because they can't run this shit without us. So it's, I think, that's the breadth of the film that I took away from it, and listening to the other mothers there. And that's what I'm leaning on from my mom, who is a professional in doing it. And, other moms throughout time. It's just crazy. We're crazy. Women are crazy, amazing. We're so powerful.
Creative Mamas Unplugged is produced by Breatheasy Productions with music by Jeremy Jurin. If you enjoyed this episode, please don't forget to give my mama 5 stars and keep coming back. Thanks to us kids, there are plenty of stories to tell, and you are not alone.
We are inspired by you. Thank you for joining our Creative Mamas community. Support Creative Mamas Unplugged on Patreon to get your name in the credits, receive extra content, and earn some fun prizes. With this, we can keep creating, uplifting, and growing this incredible community together. We love you so much. Applause.